I had a mother who was a great individual who overcame a lot. You know, she spent her whole life in a wheelchair with a positive attitude and was a very caring, charismatic person. And my father stood by her the whole time, and he was a strong man. And I think somewhere inside of me, I always wanted to prove to myself that I had that strength of character. I mean, I think I had my first fight when I was 14 years old. I think like any kid, you know, it's a big deal. You know, like when you're younger, every little event's a big deal. So I definitely remember my first fight. It was a very exhilarating experience. So it was a great experience to go through because once you sort of go through it, it's like an affirmation of self. It really helps you define that, yeah, I can overcome challenges and yeah, I can meet challenges. More than the first fight, I always remember the trip, you know, the going away with my coach, the you know, spending the time, getting in the ring, driving back. I mean, I always remember that experience so much as being such an uplifting experience in my life. My career record in professional is 10 wins and 1 loss. Boxing is such a one-on-one sport that losing is very hard in it, you know, and it's unfortunate that it hurts so bad to lose because I think some of the greatest lessons you can learn are losing. You know, I think losing sets in after, you know. I think your first immediate reaction is disappointment, but I think what really hurts is after, is those hours after the fight when you have to sit there alone and really think about what, you know, once the adrenaline comes down, that's when losing hurts. My goal has always been to compete on the biggest stage possible. And so for me, I would love to be a world champion if that's the biggest stage I can make it to. You know, if it's becoming an intercontinental and a North American champion, I just really want to see how far I can go with it. You know, I've gone so far down this road for so long that you know, I want to prove to myself that I can do it.
He's a real hard worker. You know, when it comes to doing his job, which is boxing. You know, he comes to this gym I think 6 o'clock and he goes home at 8 o'clock. His life is just all about boxing, 24/7 boxing, boxing, boxing.
Well, I think with him, he grew up boxing being his savior, as to a lot of boxers, he could have veered down the wrong path at the wrong time. So boxing really saved him. Use the legs.
I only went to grade 10 in high school, but I had the Olympic goal. I'd really tried. I never made the Olympics, but I was able to turn that commitment and that dedication into a business and make a successful business out of it. And you know, that's something that having sport and having direction and goal in your life can help to teach you.
11, 12, 13.
Kevin and I had a concept of starting up a business that we would like to train people equally, whether they're beginners or out of shape or small, big, whatever they are.
Our next venture is to try to establish some young amateurs and hopefully some young professionals. And one of the guys that we're working with is a kid named Garnett. He's done very well. He's got a lot of talent, and we're trying to work with him to grow him to become a future champion.
He kills us a lot. You know, he's a really, really hard worker, and he expects you to be there every time. If he sees you're good, sees talent in you, he expects you to, you know, to show the same dedication as he does, you know. And he always pushes you to that next level, regardless on how good you are and how bad you are. And he's a first-class coach.
Garnett is one of the guys that we've you know, understood that he's an international student, that he couldn't afford to come, and you know, we said, hey, listen, we'll pay for you to come as long as you're committed to the sport.
I wanted to quit once because of my school. It was too much, and I was like, you know, I can't do 2 stuffs at the same time because I'll fail at 2 of them anyways. And that was the first time actually we had our conflict, and I came after 2 weeks and I told him I was gonna quit.
I get frustrated sometimes, you know, but in the same sense, I think I don't just want to see him become a boxer. I would like to see him be happy and successful as a person. So where I would like to do anything I could to help him become a champion, I don't want to put unreal pressures on him to succeed. I don't want him to have to try to follow what I did, because that might not be what makes him happy.
But he was like, at least call if you don't want to come, because I give my heart out to you and I want you to be better. So that just made me, because nobody said that to me, so that just made me want to stay.
My mother and father never talked about my mother's illness. It was never your mom's sick and we should feel sorry for ourselves. And we never sat down and talked about it. It was always, we always did things together. We would go hiking. My dad would carry my mom on his shoulder, and my brother and I, when we were kids, we would carry her wheelchair up to some remote lookout, and we'd put her there. And it was always that attitude that it doesn't limit you. It can only limit your mind and where your mind wants to take it. That physically, the wheelchair wouldn't bound you. That really your mind's the only thing that could bound you. And I don't think it was ever something that we sat down as a family and talked about. I think it was something that was shown to us. It was something that was proven to us. And I think that's somewhat where I get the attitude that I don't listen to excuses, because I think anybody can make them about anything. Really, it comes down to your attitude. It comes down to just doing it.